We are on turn 14 out of 16. We have to start being mindful of the recovery phase, because in the recovery phase, things happen when we get near the end. And I'll show you real quick. So here in the recovery phase, German artillery starts happening. Oh, if the invasion marker is in position 14, which it's not. The invasion marker is in position 11 right now. And obviously if it gets to 15, the game ends. And yeah, in the first 8 turns, if we lose the 4 primary defensive locations, whatever those are, I'm assuming it's the main road, the bridge, and the cricket pavilion, and then something down here, which may be the bridle path. I'm going to assume that that's the case, because that's where all the 7s are. So if you were to roll a 7, that those are the 4 primary locations. But it's funny because I still have yet to find where that's listed. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I'm not accusing them of having it missing. I just can't find the location. And I haven't sat down and read it from cover to cover. Okay, so we're fine. Actually, the thing that we have to be mindful of is the invasion marker. Well, the invasion marker is on 11, so we're not getting to position 15, or we could get to 14, because it's on 11 now. This turn it could move to 12, it could move to 13, there it can move to 14. So it is possible we're going to get hit by artillery. What does it matter? We have nobody left for them to kill. We are somehow thinly holding on to this church. We still have 2, 4, 6, 7. The church is maxed out in terms of who can be in it. So let's get started. So we can, if we get to 12 on the invasion track, the heavy panzers start coming out instead of the light panzer. I don't know. I mean, there's no tactical card that's going to help us. So, I mean, what do we have to lose? So let's do it. So we're going to draw German 88s, which is 24. Yeah, sometimes if I wasn't doing the video, I would be packing this game up. British armor units had some success when initially deploying against the landings, but ultimately proved no match for the German 88 flak guns utilized in an anti-tank role. It was a Flak Regiment 26 that held the Dover bridgehead against the initial counterattack by the British 1st Armored Brigade, including the infamous Matilda Minute, when 5 British tanks were destroyed in 90 seconds after they threatened to overrun German infantry units holding the approach to the docks on the afternoon of June 9th. So they get a +3. They are the blue die. We're red. And I guess we would have run one, but we didn't. So now the heavy tanks are unlocked. And let's not forget the equipment phase this time, which is something I keep forgetting to do. And we get a Vickers. So this one requires 2 units that both have yellow. And if they do, you get to roll 5 extra dice. It's awesome. We just can't move our home guard. We're finally getting those. These are the weapons I was telling you in the beginning of the game we wanted to get. And now they're coming out, and there's nothing we can do. That Bren, for example, would be amazing in the hands of the right person. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. I also think that some of our dead units, like see here, the Women's Institute, they can do the yellow. And since this is a group of people, they would be able to do the 2, like the Vickers. That Vickers can be used by the Women's Institute, and they would actually be able to roll 7 dice. I mean, that's amazing. Earl can do one. And I'm betting Reynolds can't. But, and then, yeah, right over here, the Hunt Club can do it. So we have units that could use those guns, but they're either dead or they're unable to get to the church. So very, very sad day for British. Okay, so we drew that. Let's do our tactical event. Angels 1-5, so it looks like we're going to get some kind of bombing run, maybe? At 12:45 hours, a lone Spitfire of 43 Squadron strafed elements of the German 5th Infantry Division as they were approaching Berkham-Stokes from the edge of the West Orchard. Although inflicting minor casualties, the Spitfire gave the village defenders time to redeploy forces to confront the new threat. There must be German infantry units in at least one approach box at the end of the German placement phase. Effect: after the German placement phase has been concluded, select one approach box containing German infantry, roll 1d6 for each infantry in the square, and then kill any of them. You roll 6. Well, remember, during the placement phase, we place them and then we move them, but the movement is a different phase. So we're going to for sure have a box somewhere. So we need to get 6. And right now we're getting a +3 to our rolls. So that's a 4, but we get +3, so that's 7. Angels 1-5 is now in the box. Okay, so I was hoping it was going to let me move units through their terrain and get that hunt club out of there. That hunt club would help us in the church immensely because they can pick up that Vickers. Okay, so then we do the character card. And we have 101. And let's pray that this is one we can actually play, because otherwise someone's getting sniped. Man of science, man of faith. Reverend Barnstaple and Dr. Greystone were united in their horror in the events consuming their village, but that did not make them idle bystanders. The broken body had been brought in hours earlier and laid to rest by the altar. When asked years later, neither could remember who first detected the faint flicker of life. Not that it mattered. Both men worked in a savage fury. They would not let death have him. No more sacrifices, not today. Take 5d6 and roll one each turn. Roll each one in turn. If none of the rolls result in a 6, you may take any one character who has been killed and place them back in the church on their injured side. At the same time, place their chaplain marker back in the person of interest space on the chaplain track. Move both Barnstable and Greystone one space to the left on the chaplain track. Greystone and Barnstable must be together in the church, and at least one character must have been killed. Unfortunately, the Reverend is dead, I think. Yes, the Reverend's dead, so we can't do it. That stinks. We could have brought a character back. So we can't do this. So I'm going to discard it, and that means someone's getting sniped. Oh boy, I should have moved Daisy. All right, so let's see who gets sniped. That's an 8. That's Reynolds. So Reynolds is dead and out of the game. All right, well then that means the Reynolds card is now out of the game. And life just got a lot more miserable. Okay. There's no room for Daisy in the inn. Or the church, I said inn intentionally. So she's stuck here with the Bren, unable to go in. The Dr. Greystone is unable to go in. It's funny, but we sort of need somebody to die. I'm just realizing I forgot Betty's bonus is that they get to kill 2 people if they hit somebody. I don't think anybody hit this big stack though. But we're going to make sure somebody dies. Next round. And unfortunately, those guys that infiltrated in... Oh, look. We have her. So even though they killed the guy, they would have to pass an infiltration. And they did. They rolled a 1. These guys didn't get to automatically move here because she's there. She's shooting at them. So, okay. we now go to our movement phase, and there's not a lick of things we can do. Home guard still can't move. The doctor can try to move, but there's nowhere to go. The church is full. Daisy will stay there and use the shotgun from Reynolds. Let's try to move, what's her name? But she can only move if I roll a 1 or a 2. I rolled a 1. So we'll at least take her to here. And she can at least try to attack from there. That's all I can do. So now we go to German placement. We're going to start with the 1st infantry. I rolled a 3. They're coming in from the east, from position 5, and there's only going to be one of them. So he comes in and then he's going to advance all the way to here. The tank is also going to advance to there. And then we move to the 7th. They're coming in from the east. And I rolled a 5. And there's going to be 5 of them. There's only 3. And they're going to advance. And they also end up in that corner of the church, because they're all showing up in that same spot. Okay, and then these next 2, nobody comes, but these flip over. We basically have everything on the board. A Panzer III is going to come out, and a Panzer IV is going to come out. So I think I have to flip for this. Why can't I ever find this? Oh, here we go, German army. So for the Panzer III, he's entering on the main road, and then he's advancing all the way up. And then the Panzer IV is entering on the bridge. Okay, so the Panzer IV is actually going to be held up by them. Okay, so now that bridge one was actually pretty useful. But, okay, so what do we do? Oh, we get to kill stuff. So I need to be mindful of that, because Angel won 5. So, it was basically we get to roll 1d6 for each guy. So we had 3 of them from this and this guy. And then 1 from here. So that's what we had enter. Right? We had 3 from the 7th, 1 from the 1st, well, none from the 5th. The 5th didn't show up. He was just moving. Okay, so we had 4 guys. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. And these 4 are being attacked when they were there. That's what we were supposed to do. I was being a little too premature in moving them, but none of them got hurt. So that's how it stacks. And now it is time for us to attack. There would have been an infiltration step. We actually forgot something from last round. See that big stack of stuff there? We forgot to do last round. So I'm backing up. Here's 5 dice, because Taylor is perfectly healthy, and he's going to attack this group. And we got 2 hits. So I'm going to kill these 2 units from the 1st and the 5th. And this one would be in the KIA, and then this one would have flipped over to there. Okay, and then we're going to throw the De Gaulle with Sharma. And I would have missed. And then we get 2 more from the shop, and those would have missed. Then we have this stack from the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they would have attacked with 7 dice. 3, 6, 7, and then they're going to get 2 more for control markers, and 1 more because of the terrain. And there's not a single 6 in there. So then they would have tried to infiltrate. and they would have succeeded and moved forward. And I think it's for the whole stack. Let me make sure. Or is it an infiltrate for each unit? Okay, each one rolls a 1d6. Okay, so one of them made it through. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So if I roll 5 or less, they move. Every single one of them moves. So now, the one time Taylor was able to get some kills in, he's no longer able to shoot at anybody. Okay, now we're back to this turn. So it's our turn. We get to go, and as you can see, the church is dreadfully surrounded. These guys, I think I did an infiltration check with those, but we're going to shoot with our 1 die here, and that's a miss. And then we get 1 for the terrain, and it was a 4, another miss. So these 2 guys are from the 5th. They are going to attack back, and they get 2 dice, plus 1 for the terrain and 1 for the control. I'm pretty sure the 5th, they only get 1 die. So 3 dice total. And there is a 6, and he is now dead, and the Webley dropped. So with that being said, he can't do range attacks, so these would infiltrate or move forward, or they would advance after the attack, but they only move 1 space. Okay, so now we go to here, and you can see Daisy gets to roll 3 dice, and she missed. Now she's going to roll no extra dice because her terrain doesn't give her any bonus. So then the 20th gets to roll 1 die, and then 2 more because of the terrain. And the 20th did not hit her. So Daisy is fine. Now we have our farm hands. We're going to roll 2 dice for them. And they rolled an 8, which misses. And they get to roll 3 dice, which hits. And the farm hands are killed. And the pitchforks are destroyed. And so these units are going to move out of the box and into there as part of their advance. And now they stopped. So things are bad. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Sussex hunting team. They have a wonderful gun, but unfortunately they're going up against a tank. So in order to go up against the tank, it is right here. You can see the South Sussex Hunt. They need a 10. So we're going to roll 2 dice and have to get exactly a 10 and nothing else. And they rolled 3, so they missed. So now the tank is going to try to get them, and they get to roll 8 dice. Oh my gosh. 5, 6, 7, 8. There is no terrain bonus. There is 3 control markers around them. So they are rolling every die I have, and they still get to roll 1 more. And here you go. There's a 6 right here. And they're already injured. So the Sussex hunting team is now dead. Their weapons are gone. And this moves in. So. Well, actually, no, they don't advance yet. Okay, so now we have Miss Finley here. She's going to roll 2 dice, attack them, and she actually hits. So we're going to kill the first infantry. And then now we're inside the church. So this one is 3 dice, and we're going to attack here. That's 1 hit, so we'll kill the first infantry. Now we have our brawlers. It doesn't matter where they attack. We could try to destroy the tanks. This is a lost cause. Okay, the brawlers are going to attack this corner here. So we're going to start with them. They need a 5 or a 9. They got an 8. Remember, they all get to re-roll. They got a 6. Next one, 7 or 11. It's a 9. They get to re-roll to a 12. Next one, it's a 9 or a 5. It's an 11 or an 8. So they all missed. So now 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 2 6s right there. So killed and killed. And she's the only one left. We get to roll 3 more dice because of our terrain modifier. Those are all misses. So let's just do the tanks first. They're rolling 10 dice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 9 of them. There's a 6. She's dead. Or nope, she would not be dead. The home guard would be dead first. And he still gets 1 more die. And then we have the 5th infantry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the tanks would have gotten 3 more dice because of the terrain for the control markers. And then now we go to the 5th infantry. We said there were 6 of them. They get 3 dice plus 3 more for the control markers. And there's 2 hits, and she's dead, and they just took over the church, and that's an instant loss. We just lost the game. Okay, so that's Codeword Cromwell. I know I was uncertain with some of the rules in the beginning, but hopefully you saw how it played out. Yes, I maybe forgot a few things, but as you saw that it's pretty easy to go back and retroactively fix things when you forget to do certain steps. You have to be mindful of making sure that you go through each square and resolve them. And I was trying to cut corners, and you saw that there were a few times that it burned me. So just be careful when you're playing your own game. But the outcome would not have been that much different. There was nothing I did that was that cheaty, or like if I forgot something here or forgot something there. I think the biggest thing I kept forgetting was drawing these. In fact, I didn't forget it this turn. Anyways, it's a hard game. So now that we've played this again, or I have, I am remembering that defending that road was important. I am remembering that I did not care about these outer edges. Like, I remember just retreating and just making my stand in certain key spots and then just having crossfire, right? So, for example, the bank. If I made a stand in the bank, I can defend the newspaper and I can defend the church lane and the bridle path here, for example. And in doing so, I would, maybe have 5 points worth of guys there. And same with you saw what I did with the pub. That's actually very powerful. The only problem with the pub is it's in the corner and you still have a hole over here for them to come through. And then here, the main road was the key point. And once I lost that, they really started coming through. And then up there, the cricket pavilion is actually very hard to hold. The shop, as you can see, is a little stronger. It's just, you really do want to survive rounds. I do think that the German strategy cards are worth trying, because I do think that these gave us some nice edges. I guess you could argue, though, that having those tanks in the game made it harder. Having, multiple divisions spawning on you is harder. So if you just played the whole game drawing these, yeah, you're not getting the cool tactical cards, but you're also having more and more turns where there's only the 7th Flieger Corps spawning and nobody else, right? Or even if the first infantry starts spawning, or the fifth, or whichever one comes next, then it's just those two and nobody else. So it's easier to control, you know, the spawns, and it's all true. I mean, it's really a trade-off, and I think the biggest strategic choice of the game is, what do you do with these? You know, are these worth, you know, getting? There's, I don't know what they all do from just looking at them. Like this one, I bet we get a tank. I guarantee you that one gets us a tank. This one is interesting. It looks like it's going to make this one out of the game. I don't know. I don't know about that one. But here comes another cavalry. Here comes another cavalry. So there would have been 2 more units that come in. This one would have been another medical kit. And I think that would have been another tank for us. So you can see, I mean, we missed, and here's another medical kit. Here comes another cavalry. So we had 2 tanks and 3 more infantry units we could have spawned from this deck. And we had drawn quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Some of these were pretty weak, but getting your own tank, I mean, my goodness, how can you say no to that? So I think that's some of the risk of drawing these cards is there's some really duds in here. And so when you play the game, you can do this strategy, and then these would benefit you so greatly that you're like having a easier time. You know, these are nothing more than flavor along with a bonus to your die roll. You don't get anything from doing these. You're just getting a bonus to your die roll. That's all this does for you. So this is like ultra conservative. I'm going to cause that invasion counter to move as slowly as humanly possible. Yes, sometimes my die rolls will go against me, but I'm not going to let that invasion marker move any more than I have to. That's what this strategy is, and there's nothing wrong with that, because then you're spawning less of the troops. You just won't have the tanks and other things to help you. Which, you know, I just demonstrated that they didn't help me enough. In fact, I drew a freaking card that made them become traitorous against me. The other thing about the game is this character deck is this big. These are all the cards I have not yet drawn. So when you play this multiple times, you're going to get a lot of difference. You know, there's things in here like this Norton. You can see there's a lot of bad cards here because they're in blood red. But then there's some good cards too. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen with the characters in your game. And those are... it's like this one looks good, but I guarantee you that's a jam. Those are actually bad. They should make those blood red too. But anyways, you can see there's a lot of variety of things that are going to happen like for each of the characters in the game that we didn't encounter. So you could play this, and as long as you do a good shuffle, you may not see the same cards twice for quite a while. There's a big stack of them. The German strategy cards, there was only 4 more of those left. So there was 2 turns we had not yet taken, and then I think there was 2 turns where I actually drew a British strategy card. So there's exactly as many of these as there are rounds or turns in the game, and I'm betting there's exactly 16 of these. Remember, these cards don't actually hurt you. All they do is modify the die roll, the Sea Lion die roll. So they're not a big deal. The tactical cards, as you saw, was very thick, and we did not experience all of them. In fact, we found that there's a few in there that were awesome, and we didn't even get them. So that is the game in a nutshell. I can tell you that the brawlers are nice when you pair them up with the pub lady. The fact that she does 1 extra damage is great, but you saw, I mean, even if you have 2 numbers, you're rolling a 2d6, there's 12 possible outcomes, and only 2 of them work in your favor. It's really low odds to get a hit. So those hand-to-hand melee guys aren't meant to be the ones defending the church, to be quite honest. The church should have those guys with the Vickers and the Thompsons. Like the home guard should have been in the church manning those yellow weapons and just doing a world of hurt on anybody who came up to them. That was the plan until this happened to us. This thing killed us. Absolutely killed us. That character card that we may never see again. But wow, did it hurt us so badly. Not being able to move the home guard. I actually think we would have made it to the last round of the game if we were able to move the home guard. I still don't think we would have won, but I do think we would have had a chance. I mean, those guys up there did nothing the entire game. All they did was just sit there. And you can see Taylor gets to roll 5 dice. I mean, that's a really good attack with that Lanchester. And he could have gave that Lanchester to Sharma and then come in and grabbed, you know, one of these items like the Vickers or the Thompson. Or Sharma could have come in and done it. It doesn't matter. The point is there was so much potential if we could get our home guard out of there. I want to play again. It's a fun game. As you notice, there's a lot of luck to the game, so you got to be okay with that. I feel like I finally grasped the rules, and I'm apologizing one final time that you had to struggle through it with me. I know some people want the videos to be crisp and the person to have everything down to a T. But anyways, it's good. This is a very fun game, and I already have like 100 thoughts going through my head about how I would do this differently if I played it again, and I would. And I do know that I'd be drawing those German cards. I just think I like that more, largely because sometimes you fail the die roll anyways, even if you get the bonus from these. But yeah, very good. Where there is Discord, I have it. I've never played it. It's on my stack of games. And then I also want to point out that I have all 3 D-Day games. I've only done Omaha Beach, the basic game. I've never done Extended. And then the other 2 I've not played at all. So I have a lot on my plate that I've never played and I want to play. I also have Comancheria, which I was going to do instead of this game. But then I noticed that the designer came up with an awesome playthrough. And to be quite honest, it's quite good. I mean, there's no need for my video. In fact, I would probably botch it up. But I still might do it because, like I said, my goal of these videos is to have you join me at the table, not to always, you know, be your servant. But so anyways, I might do this so you can join me as I play it, but it's on my list. The D-Day at Omaha Beach, there's a guy named Dan Lekos, who did a playthrough, and he did a fantastic job. A couple of things that he did is obviously he had a lot of pauses. So when there was cleanup and things like that, he would stop his video so that way you didn't have to watch him do those. And of course, I'm not that nice to you. I make you watch me do it. Well, the one thing he did is he did explain the rules as they came up, but he didn't explain everything. And I don't know. I mean, to be quite honest, I learned how to play from watching his video, and it's good enough. My goal is I don't want to compete with him. I would tell everybody to watch his videos over anything I do. But the only reason you would watch mine is because I'm going to maybe take you through the strategy a little bit more than he did. When it was his turn, he just moved. He did things, and then things happened. And he didn't necessarily explain what he was trying to do or what he was trying to set up. So I think if I did do that video, I would try to maybe do that angle. So that way, because he did a fantastic job. Now the thing is he never did the other 2 games, Tarawa or Palelu. Those videos that are available for those 2 games are not quite as good. One guy did Tarawa, and I actually thought he did a decent job. One of my factors on what game I want to do next is I look to see if there's videos already out for it. And I'm just trying to say that there's already videos out for these games. But I do like Butterfield, and that Space Corp game was pretty awesome. And so are these. Anyways, enough rambling about other games. Thank you for enduring this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't think that anybody's done a video for this game in however many years this has been out, almost 10 years maybe. I might be lying. I don't know the exact number of years. But this one should have had a video ages ago as far as I'm concerned. And if I have time, I will do another playthrough of this. My issue is I have people coming over tomorrow for multiplayer games. So let me see what I can do. I want to do maybe another playthrough, and then I'm going to link that one to Board Game Geek because I know the rules now, right? So if I link the second one to Board Game Geek, then I won't force people to watch me read the rules. It might be a while. There are so many things I want to do. So sorry for talking out loud, and I will go ahead and end the video. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.